slavery today is an aberration of how we trade. I used to believe that I was in this very privileged position, that I was living in a country that respected human rights and that I was free. There were awful things going on around the world, but I hadn't actually caused them. But when I got to the trips and I met with children who were in child slavery and fishing in Lake Volta, and you meet with these kids who've watched their friends drown, who've been beaten and abused and are coming out of it, this uneasy question surfaced for me. Where does this fish get sold? What's the market that it goes to? Have I ever eaten this fish? Have I ever paid for this? Have I ever used it to feed my child? And it made my skin crawl because I couldn't find out. We have a system that has economically enabled this to be hidden. Forced labor in supply chains is something that happens on a farm or in a factory or in a mine. You may not just walk onto those places, find the person and pull them out. It's an internal problem.
So from a policy perspective, you step right into a mass of self-protective silos, each of whom see this problem through their own lens. And then they have to confront what Flor suggests, which is actually dealing with an escaped victim, or dealing with a survivor or an advocate who's coming forward. And frankly, a lot of countries do it badly, and even the United States does this badly. And unfortunately, that's what it seems like it takes. It takes something horrible. So the law can be in the books, there can be a structure, and yet it seems as though it takes a huge tragedy. And one of the things that I think all of us have worked to try to accomplish is how do we raise people's hackles on this so that it doesn't take 19 people drowning to get them to do something. Because one person enslaved in a garment factory here, or one person enslaved in prostitution here, is as much of a tragedy as those 19 people.
My sewing teacher was contacted by a trafficker from Los Angeles, and she came to my house and invited me with this great opportunity to come to the United States. What I was making, it wasn't enough to feed my 3 children. And here in Los Angeles, I met my trafficker again. I worked 17 to 18 hours a day, 7 days a week. I wasn't allowed to put one step out of the factory. So I started asking her to let me go to a church. That Sunday, when I finally got my freedom, I didn't go back. Thanks to organizations like Cherrie and CAST, I was able to get back to my feet. We all can be a part of the solution, and we can all, as consumers, can demand justice and a supply chain transparency. We can make the difference, and we can eradicate human trafficking.